Well, hello, yearbook staffers. We're here today to get an introduction to Canva. So if you haven't already accepted the invitation to join the Canva class, please make sure you do that. That's important because if you don't, you won't have access to our brand identity bits and pieces. That's all these logos that you can use in your templates, and you'll always want to slap one or more of these into your designs so that way we kind of keep our branding consistent. All right? So we're gonna, once we're in Canva, so you're just gonna go to canva.com. There probably should be a link in Google Classroom, but if not, again, it's canva.com. Excuse me. So this is our home screen. In Canva, they're all pre-designed templates, okay? We will have lessons on design and the principles, contrast, repetition, alignment, and proximity, as well as some layout stuff as we get closer to creating our yearbook pages. But what you guys need to know is you really shouldn't need to do a lot of editing to these templates. In fact, they're already really well designed. My task is to try to keep you from messing them up and taking them from a good design to a bad design. But that's not what this lesson is. This lesson is about how do you use Canva. So when you get in here, you're gonna see there's a taskbar up at the top. It's gonna give you some shortcuts or different sections. You also will have probably a For You section here. You will have recent designs. Once you start doing designs, you're gonna see I have lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of designs. Okay. You'll have some other tabs over here that we'll get to later. Excuse me. So you can search for specific things. So let's say I know that I'm gonna do a business card design, whatever. If I click on that, I can either click under templates where it's gonna give me different designs, or if I know I have been creating a business card design and I just can't find it in my projects, I can click over here and it should click on it. But I'm gonna click business card. I'm just showing this to you, just gotta watch today. And it's gonna give me different templates. So that's one way I can do this. But for most of us, because we are doing social media graphics, you are gonna wanna make sure that you click on the social media tab. When you do, it's gonna give you specifics in here. You'll also notice they have them fine-tuned for Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn, because if you don't know, the proportions are different. So stuff that you would post on Instagram and Facebook have different scales and proportions for other content. But we're gonna click on Facebook. And then once you get into Facebook, it's gonna give you different options from here. So all of the time, I want you clicking here, the Facebook posts, because these are all gonna be Facebook posts, unless I specifically tell you yours needs to be a Facebook video or a Facebook story, all right? But so we're gonna click on Facebook posts. You can follow along if you want to today, but otherwise you're just watching. So once you click in here, it's gonna give you a blank document. You've got your tabs over here at the side. This is how you create your design. This is how you build your piece of graphic design for social media. If you click on designs, if you scroll down, it's gonna give you some suggested designs in here. All right, you can also search. So let's say I know I want something for volleyball. It's gonna pull up pre-designed templates that already kind of have a volleyball theme. However, we're gonna do a lot of fine tuning, so you don't have to. You can also base it on styles. But typically for me, if I don't search for something, I'm just gonna kind of go down under all results and just start scrolling. So I'm just gonna grab one. I'm gonna grab this one here. So once you do, you'll notice it loads everything. The text edits just like it sounds. You click on it, you highlight it, you put your text in here. You can also resize it. You can make it bigger, smaller. You can change your color. You can make it bold, italics. You can change the font. You can change the alignment, left, right, and center. Okay. We're gonna get into animate and effects in just a little bit. We're gonna keep going. If I need to add a text box, I click on the text tab over here to the right. If I'm going to do my own predetermined text, so in other words, I'm typing in text, you click here. Most of the time, you're either going to do a heading or subheading. You're probably not going to do body text because we're not doing big blocks of type here. These are meant to be quick and easy graphics, so you're either going to click add heading or subheading, and it really doesn't matter because you can edit them from there. When you do, it's going to put it here. You can type, And again, you can move these things around, change your alignment like I said. You can even stack things on top of each other. If you want to get rid of something, you just delete it. I just hit the delete key there. All of these elements, as you can see, once you click on them, you can move them around. You can delete them. Control Z is your friend, that's undo. You can resize. You can rotate. All right, like I said, Control Z is your friend. Control Z is going back in time. Let's dig a little bit further. Let's say I want to add kind of a cool effect text. So there's certain ones that they have, they're almost like clip art. So you can search. So let's say I want something that says party. It's gonna pull up options, and I can click those. Now these will let you edit them. Let's say I only wanted 2 of these. Notice how this is all in one block type. I have to right click and ungroup it because it's grouped together, and now I can delete those things. So now I could move them around, resize them individually, however. Okay, you guys, I think you get the idea. All right, let's talk a little bit about the graphic, the images. How do you get images in here? How do you put images in? So that's going to be in your Uploads tab. Once you click in Uploads, you are not going to have anything here the first time. This is where all your images, video, and audio goes. You guys are primarily going to be focusing on images, but you may have videos. To get images in here to use, you have to click Upload Files, and then you have to navigate to where these things are. So most of the time, they're probably going to be images that I have sent to you, so they're probably going to be in your Downloads folder. So let's say I sent you this picture here, and I want you to use it in a graphic. You just click on it and you click Open. It's going to load it into here. Now, if you have a template already, it's going to put it in this text box shape. So if I click and drag and release it in there, notice if I click this, it's not going to let me change the proportions. That's kind of hard to understand because this is a horizontal photo. Let me show you. For instance, if I drag and drop this one in there, and see now I'm missing her hand, it may or may not let me move that hand in there. So you can delete a photo box and just click on a photo and it will add it there. And that makes it a little bit easier to resize if you need to. Okay. You could also put video in here. So if there happens to be video, like I've got video in here, I can drag and drop, and now there's a video in there that would play. Okay, so if you happen to shoot video for a graphic, that's in there. Like I said, you can drag and delete things. How to arrange different elements. So that means your arrangement. So like right now, this text is on top of these. Let's say I wanted it behind the other ones. I can right click and send to back, or send backwards, or bring forwards, or I can bring forward, so maybe it goes just in that. So think of it as your stacking order. You can change the color of your background. If it's a shape, you can even put a border on it, change the weight. There's lots of things you can click and play around with here, right? Let's talk about the animations, and then we're going to talk about some of the other graphic stuff. So if you want to animate, so what animate does is it adds movement to your graphic. Otherwise, if you don't have any animations in here or no video, when you download this, it's just going to be a picture file, which again, most of the time that's what I'm going to want, unless we've had a conversation or I've specifically told you it needs to have animation or video. So if I click on this and I hit animate, it gives you all these different options. So if I click like draft, so notice it just, again, it adds an animation. I can also delete an animation. So if I decide I don't want the animation on that, I just click up here where it has that baseline animation. I click on it and I hit remove animation. So now that one doesn't have the animation on it. All right, let's go into elements. So this is like if I need to add, excuse me, a square, like if I want to add a square here for whatever reason. These are your lines and shapes. And you can scroll through them, or you can click the see all. And again, you just click and put it on there. Again, you can rotate these. I'm going to go back. So you've got under your elements, you've got lines and shapes, you've got graphics. Graphics are kind of cool because they're kind of like little pieces of clip art, and they have animations in them as well. Your stickers have a lot of animations where they move. Okay, so that's your animations. You can have some fun with those. But again, the moment you do that, it's going to turn it into a video file. So just be aware of that. Again, you can search under your stickers. So if I go back and I can search the graphics, let's say I wanted a dog, barking dog. If they're not moving, they're just a still image, right? That's just a still image. But if I scroll down and I see it moving, like that one's moving, that one's moving, now they move, right? That's all of those. So that's your lines and graphics and stickers. They have other photos. Let's say you do need a photo for something and we don't have one. So in photos, I can click on photo, I can search. Again, let's say I need a dog photo rather than a dog graphic. Now there's my dog photo I can put in there. And then they have a trending one, but I rarely use that. All right, so that's the elements tab. So we've talked about the elements. Your uploads are your images and pictures. We've talked about the text. Your projects is kind of like in Yearbook Avenue. Kind of think of it as like the My Assigned. So it's going to show pretty much all of your graphics that you've been working on. Audio has some audio in there. I do have the Rockets theme, our school fight song. So if you ever want that, let me know. I can send it to you. Otherwise, if you have video and you want to add some video or some audio to it, you can click on it. You can hear it. And you add it. Now it's got the ukulele song, and you can see it's up here. If I don't want it, I just delete it. So I just clicked on it, that little thumbnail at the bottom, and I hit the delete key. Charts are beneficial if you are going to do something that's got data, or like a deadline, or you're doing something maybe about statistics for the school, like the percentage of teachers who have master's degrees or whatever. You can click on those, and it actually, you can make your edits over here. So like, let's say I'm trying to do like the 4 out of 5 dentist thing. Or actually, let's say we polled kids and 8 out of 10 kids think that Rock Falls High School is awesome. You can change the numbers down here. Why can't it? Won't let me scroll for some reason. Hold on, let me pick a different one. For some reason, that one's not letting me scroll. Let's do pie charts. And we'll get into the pie charts and graphs more, but you can change the values of things. And it does the math basically for you, as long as you're not over 100%. Okay, you get it. And then you can put in your words. So we did a poll on favorite candies. Notice it changed it over here and put the percentage. All right, so that's your charts. We're not going to go too deep into that now. We'll talk about that when we get to quotes and surveys for the yearbook pages. The last thing I need to show you is logos. So under logos, this is where you will have access, because as a student in the class, in the Canva class, you have access to all of these. So whenever you're doing a graphic for the school, I do want you to think about adding 1 or more of these to your design in some way, shape, or form. And again, you can move and change these. If there's something specific that you want that maybe isn't in here, I'm always adding new stuff in here, but if they're like, sure, I really want a green rocket with a black outline, can you do that and put that in there? I can always do that, right? Let's see, some other things. You can make copies of things, keyboard shortcut Alt, or you can Control C, Control V, that makes copies. And then the last thing you will do is when you are done with the design is you need to send it to me. Now you can share it with me here, but I'll be honest, in the past I've had some major issues with it. So instead, what I want you to do, when you go up to share, instead of sharing it with me, because usually you can share, you would type in like sure, and I would I would pop up here. See, the show is already shared. But instead of just sharing it with me, what I want you to do is you guys won't have these options here. I want you to hit download. And when you do download, if it's a video file, it's going to pop up as an MP4. If you have no animation, no movement, I want you to click on the drop-down menu, and I want you to go to JPEG. Always JPEG. Keep that in mind, always JPEG. And I always want you to make the size as big as you can and your quality as big as you can. And then you're going to hit download. It's going to take a little bit of time. If there's an animation or a video, it may take even longer. So now it's down here. It's called text here. Depending on the assignment, you'll either then upload this into Google Classroom or you'll email it to me and I'll give you directions. But that's how you get that design, because now here's that design. And once you get it to me, now I can use it in social media. I can schedule that to get out. All right? So that's Canva. If you haven't played along with me today, then you might want to think about opening that up and playing around. To get back to the home screen, you just click home. You can always edit and reuse. Okay, again, before I let you go, I lied. I want to show you the home screen. So once you start accumulating designs in here, I want to show you that you can delete things. So if I click on this, I can move this to the trash. Like, I don't need it, I don't want it. I can also make copies. Like, let's say for our ad campaigns that you're doing, you're just going to do 4 of them absolutely identical. You can just click on that, make a copy. And now there's a copy. I can open that up, and now I can make edits. All right, close that tab. I can also rename. So if you let it hover, that's going to come up. You can rename it. Rename, whatever. However, makes it a little bit easier. And now there you go. There it is. So again, that's going to be in your home screen. All of your designs are going to be in there. And I would suggest, you probably will start to accumulate quite a few. So as soon as you're done and you don't want something, just get rid of it. You can also share it with a classmate if you need to. So let's say you were working on a design, you got a partner for some reason or for a project, and you want them to use the exact same template. You can share it with them, and then what it would do is it would show up under their shared projects. So if I go down, I can go to shared with me, and I can show you where this is. Then you would open it up, and they would make a copy of it, and then start editing. Because if they started making copies to the one that you share, it's going to edit their original. So keep that in mind. If you share a design with somebody, they can edit it. So keep that in mind. That's really important. All right, now, as I promised, now we're done. You can go ahead, open up Canva, play around with it, get comfortable with it. Or if you have work for the class, go ahead and get started on that work for the class. Good job.